for stopping by today. Today I want to talk a little bit about over-the-counter hearing aids. Now, the subject of over-the-counter hearing aids is something we should probably spend a little bit of time down the road on kind of getting into the specifics. But in a nutshell, an over-the-counter hearing aid is something that can be sold, one, without a hearing test, and two, without using a licensed professional. So there are some things we need to cover. Now, there have been a couple of pretty successful companies, and I want to talk about those today and some of the recent problems they've run into. Now, the first is called EarGo. Now, EarGo has been around since about 2010 and honestly have been pretty successful and have run a pretty solid business. And as a matter of fact, if we look at reviews done by people like Dr. Cliff in the industry, or even hearing aids that I've seen come into my door, they actually do function pretty decently and do provide a good baseline level of amplification. Now, not necessarily what I would want in the same situation, but I certainly can't say it's a terrible device. Moreover, since 2010, they've continued to put money into research and have made that product significantly better. So signs of a pretty good company. They've been so successful that as of about 2020, the company actually went public. Their initial price was about $14 to $16 a share. My understanding is they shot up well over $50 a share, so things were looking really good for EarGo. Now, a couple of weeks ago, there was a settlement with the Department of Justice, and that's never a good place to be if you're a company. Now, again, they settled, so there's nothing proven, but they did pay a penalty of about $34 million. And I believe the crux of that issue was that they were providing a diagnosis code and submitting to insurance. Now, the problem with submitting a diagnosis code is that you have to be a licensed professional doing a test to provide a diagnosis. So no test, no diagnosis code. And again, without admitting any guilt, they still paid about $34 million. And so with a sum that big, we can assume that they thought that their chances in court were not that good. Now, again, I think EarGo is an important player in the history of hearing aids, and I do hope they continue to go forward because they push us every single day, but kind of a big blow for one of those companies. Now, company number two is a company that I think everybody is pretty familiar with, Bose. Yep, that Bose, the one that makes the amazing stereo equipment. Now, when they came into the industry promising an over-the-counter hearing aid, I was thinking two things. One, this is going to be a really good hearing aid. And two, these guys are here to stay. Well, the short story is again, within the last couple of weeks, they've closed the doors on that department. So it does bring about a number of questions as to why. Now, the third company I want to talk about is a company called Noopl. Now, I'm admittedly not as familiar with that, but interestingly enough, I'm familiar with the head of that company. Noopl was not necessarily a hearing aid, but a device that would insert into just the port of your iPhone and would be designed to, with the help of AirPods, which apparently everybody has, help people to hear in noise through the use of very specific directional microphones. Again, kind of a cool idea, but something that apparently didn't get the traction that it was looking for because, again, last week that closed down. Now, why do I tell you these things? I'm not here to bash on these companies. I'm not here to bash on over-the-counter hearing aids. What I'm here to help people understand, because my goal is always to get the best information to you, the patient, is that what this proves is that fitting hearing aids is hard. Fitting hearing aids is not something that is a one-stop shop, and it's not something that's a one-size-fits-all. So while I think over-the-counter hearing aids may provide a good example of a treatment process now and in the future, your best option is always going to be to get a test from a licensed professional and have a conversation. That way, when you make the decision to get an over-the-counter hearing aid or a hearing aid from a licensed professional, you'll be able to make the best choice possible. Thanks again for stopping by. If you're looking for more information, go ahead and stop by our website, www.amdalhearing.com, Or if you have a direct question, you can go ahead and email me at info@amdahlhearing.com. And last but not least, if you like what you're hearing, go ahead and like us on Facebook or YouTube. And heck, if you really like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for stopping. Have a great day.